And we're live! Hello and welcome to the second episode of All In Chaos in the Afternoon.
We're all in the chaos right now. That's right. We're in the layer of chaos right now. That's where we're at.
That's right. Can everybody hear us okay?
No.
Oh, I gotta put my phone on silent. Too many people are retweeting this right
saying
now.
Something?
Yeah.
Everybody pull out your phones. What's going on?
Yeah, go retweet this on Twitter. Get the word out.
So what's happening, people? We're having a non-crypto day, and now we're streaming.
Yeah, we took half the day off. Here we are. Sound is good. Awesome. So, Johnny Chaos, tell me, what do you think about Hex?
What do I think about Hex? I think it sucks that we're down right now, man. Yeah. I think it sucks that people don't know what they're missing. And I think they're not going to realize it until the price moves away, and then that's when they're going to call us.
I visited you maybe a little bit over a year ago, and it's funny because I thought I had it with me today, but you gave me a gift, and I usually carry it around with me.
Oh, the diamonds?
In my backpack, yeah. Can you explain to people what your metaphor was when it comes to Hex and a diamond?
Certainly. Takes time and pressure, guys. Time and pressure. I did a video a long time ago about marbles and diamonds. Right now, because Hex is low priced, we're talking a penny. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody paid attention when Bitcoin was a penny. I know everybody and their brother wants to say, oh, I would have bought it at a penny. Hey, I knew about it when it was a penny. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. There was no value in it. It was worth a penny. Who cares, right? Until it went up to $2,000, and then I paid attention. Yeah. And I think the same thing kind of is occurring with Hex here, too, is people have a perception of value. Because something is cheap, they assume that it's always going to be cheap. And the price is not going to do anything, so therefore they're not interested. They will not act with any sense of urgency until the prices start to move away from them and they realize that other people actually do value it. So nobody wants to buy it at a penny. Everybody wants to buy it $1. Your phone will be ringing off the hook when it's $1 because they'll be like, how do I get in? Quick, how do I get in? At the top, the reason the tops happen is because the majority of the people come in at the top. When they see that other people are buying, that's when they decide that they're going to get in. So that's why you have to take advantage of the low prices when nobody wants it. Because, it's like, I got a lot of collector items, right? So instead of paying full price for the collector's items, what do? I wait for the stores to decide they're going to put them on sale or clearance, right? And then I'll buy up everything they got for a lesser price, right? And then I remove it from the market for a couple of years. And then I set higher prices on it. And I wait for the price to come to me. And if I don't get my higher price, then I don't sell it. That's called investing. It's called you buy now for a set price, you expect a price later, and you wait for that price to come to you before you separate yourself from the thing that you bought. So that's typical in arbitrage. I was talking to you about the transformers. And I said, when I was a kid, I was mad because there were like certain transformers that I couldn't get as a kid. And I was like, I couldn't understand why the stores were always sold out, why the supply was already gone. And I was standing in line about 20 years ago, and thinking to myself, here I am buying out the supply of this store. And I'm going to another store and I'm going to buy out their supply. And I'm going to another store and I'm going to buy out their supply. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I think I just realized why there was no Transformers available when I was a kid. Because some asshole went around that had a job and had money, went up and bought up all the toys and took them off the market. Then I realized something at that moment. I was that asshole.
Yeah.
I was doing what I was mad at somebody else doing when I was a kid, taking things off the market that I couldn't get until later. So
Now you're doing that all over again with Hex, huh?
And now I'm doing it again with Hex. I will take whatever coin y'all don't want. Okay, if you guys want to sell them for cheap, I will take whichever one you don't want. That's fine. And I am more than happy to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I've got toys that are older than anybody's 555 stake, so it ain't no big deal to me. So sell what you want, whatever. But the key to value is to know when something is cheap, even when other people think it's always going to be there, and know what deal you're getting, and having the ability to wait for the price appreciation. Not to be over leveraged, not to be in a position where you're like trying to bet for a lottery ticket, but be in a position where you know that you have the time and the ability to wait for the prices to come to you. And if they don't happen, you're okay with that. You'll wait more. And if you're in that position, that's where you win. Where you don't win is when you're over leveraged and you spent your last dime and you put everything in and you're expecting a quick flip or a quick return. Whether it's toy collecting or whether it's, farming or whether it's going to conventions, like people that do conventions will work all year long to build up an inventory. And then we'll take that inventory to show. So we'll go all year without a sale until we build up enough inventory to make it to that show. And if we don't sell at the prices that we want at that show, we just pack it up. We pack it up and we bring it back the next year and we add to our inventory, right? So in business, you add to your inventory, right? So you're not, if you're willing to give away your product, you're not valuing it. If you're not valuing your own product, no one else is going to value it. So until people are done giving away their Hex for pennies, price is not going to go up. And until price goes up, people are not going to realize that it's worth more than a penny. And that's just the psychology of the thing.
Yeah. So maybe I should stop giving away free tickets to my conference that's coming up in a week and a half.
Because they don't value them. If you give it away for free, they don't value it. It's crazy. And right now, Chaos Token, I hear, is doing really good. I don't own any, by the way.
Oh, dang.
But I hear Chaos Token is doing really good. I don't own any. So, guys, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this, guys.
First of all, thank you for the super chat. We got Chaka Vibes. Thank you for the 1,000 E-Hex, also known as $10. You rock. And it says 2 OG goats. Thank you for paving the way.
Nah. Nah, we're not goats. Nah. We are occasionally a little bad, but yeah, so let's talk about this, guys. Everybody should just go, wow, you mean it's that easy to make a token? Yes. It has always been that easy to make a token. It just hasn't been that easy for you, because now there's an app that makes it very, very easy for token creation that lets you see that, these people, anybody that has the know-how to make a token can make a token, right? And so that should make you think twice about just throwing your money out there into random coins because they have name recognition or because you relate something to that token. People that design these tokens are counting on you to create a relationship to these tokens based on a popular name, a popular meme, a popular whatever. And they're just using those names or popular things so that you do word association. Word association means, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be worth anything, but sure, I'll buy one of those. I'll put some money in that. Why not? Yeah, it's Johnny Coin. Let me put some money in that, right? So
yeah, that chart's looking pretty rough, man.
What rough? Is that Chaos Token right now?
So we should
somebody sold that shit off.
Yeah. Good. We should explain this though for people who are still catching up. So Gary Funding Jim, who Johnny and I are both fans of, and appreciate his friendship. He's been a long time advocate of Hex and the Richard Hart ecosystem. He started an experiment last night where he wanted to teach people that making coins as like a meme or pretty much just making it from a website that takes no effort at all. He wanted to show that how maybe silly or stupid it is. And so he picked 29 different Hex influencers, or you could really call us, we call ourselves broadcasters, and picked, people in the community, and he created tokens in our names, and then he paired it with $10 of DAI liquidity, which even I've been learning more about how V2 liquidity works by seeing it in action here. Basically, first of all, you have a market cap for all these coins that's 369 million, but there's only 10 coins available
in the case for sale. So this is part of this. This goes to show you the things that affect what the price actually is, and it's not what you think. It's available supply. It's not market cap. It's available supply. How many are in the case available for sale, and how much liquidity there is, on the bid side. So it makes a big difference, and you realize how something that was just made as a joke can go up exponentially, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be the liquidity for you there to cash out. So, for instance, the Chaos token thing was like $62 last I looked, but there was only like $15 worth of liquidity. So if you had one coin, you couldn't even sell one coin to get that $15, even though it was priced at $62. So it's cool what Gary did, because he's showing you that what you think gives something value doesn't. And, word association is very powerful, and people will buy things. It's like we're talking about politicians, right? Why do politicians put signs in everybody's front yard? Because even if you're not paying attention to politics whatsoever, and you see that name in the yard, when you're filling out the ballot and you come to that line where you got to vote for your office secretary or whatever, or state township representative, okay? You're going to come to that box and you're going to go, oh, that name sounds familiar, and you'll check the box, even without knowing the person's political affiliation, what they stand for, whatever. And that's why they do that. Word association. And it's very effective marketing strategy. And a lot of these coins use that word association marketing strategy. We saw Gary coin. We see the Pepe meme do well. What does the Pepe meme token do? It's a frog token, guys. It's a picture of a frog.
Well, and it was the 8th iteration of that.
8th or 12th, yeah. God knows. Yeah. So, and they learned some things on how to make the price pump, right? So what makes the price pump? What makes the price pump is when you control the supply, guys. When you limit the amount of availability in the case, and then you're the only person with the token, so you're the only one that can affect the price. If I make a token and I buy all my tokens, I can run the price up on a token up to 800% before anybody makes their first purchase. And then when they make their first purchase, guess what? I'm in profit on a token that was never sold to anybody other than me. You see? So you need to really understand what you're getting yourself into when you're getting into meme tokens, when you're getting into name association tokens, when you're just dropping a little bits of money in, you're like, whatever. If everybody drops a little bit money in, then that's how these people are able to pull the liquidity on things. And I'm not talking about Gary in particular. He's just did this as an experiment to just kind of show you what happens. But and what's neat is you can see how this works in real time. How people get excited about things, how people like to click the button when they're familiar with words or familiar with personalities. They want to associate themselves. They want to own a piece of something that's related to that, even if it's not created by the people that came up with the idea to begin with. We saw Pikachu. I guarantee Pikachu is not created by the people that created Pikachu, right? It's somebody that says, hey, Pikachu's popular. Let's put it on a coin, which, mind you, in the real world, this would be copyright infringement. But let's put it on a coin, and people will buy it because it's got a Pikachu on it. That's it. This is where a lot of this stuff is. So now you're seeing for the first time really how truly easy it is to create your own coin. And there's a lot more that goes into it on making a successful coin or a successful project than just clicking a few buttons and making a coin and thinking that it's going to go up. And we've had people in the community learn that necessarily making a coin is not necessarily the way to win when you could be using that economic energy and supporting the ecosystem that we're already in, instead of trying to go off and do your own thing. Because when you go off and you try to start your own business, you could be 5 years into a business before you're even in the green, right? You'll be in the red in the ledger because you're going to put all of your economic energy into a business until you start to see that return, right? And even with crypto, you can have that same kind of thing. You're putting all your liquidity. You have to back that coin with your own money. And if the prices get at high price points, they can come crashing down, especially if you're not controlling the supply properly. You got your own participants selling down on your head, and if you don't have enough available liquidity, it ends up crashing. So your coin can be crashed by your fans because you're not regulating the supply properly. So there's a lot that goes into it.
And of course, the suggestion by Gary was don't buy these tokens that he created, or buy $1 worth, like one, to show yourself that you're moving the price to a place where it's not even real, and it's all made up. I mean,
it's all made up.
We've seen. Look, Chaos token has a liquidity of $63 right now. And
I'm moving up in the world.
$6.4 billion market cap.
$6.4 billion market cap. But if you sold $64 worth, it goes to zero.
It can't go to zero. It's Uniswap.
Well, it can't. No, it could go down to $10 because there's $10 liquidity. Unless Gary pulls the liquidity. Gary pulls out that $10, it can go to zero.
Or the people who wrote the code could rug pull it. Theoretically, because we haven't looked at the code. So it can teach you a lot about what not to do.
Yeah, and that's something else too. When you are not writing your own code, or you're not sure what is being copy and pasted when you're using an app to create a token, you don't necessarily know what that code is. So there could possibly be admin keys within that code that you don't know about because you're not creating the code. You're using an app that is generating a code that you are not privy of. There's no way to you have to go in and read the contracts and stuff. I mean, there's ways to check that, but that is another potential threat vector. If people are making launch pads, they could put admin keys in where they could affect the coin after the coin has been minted. So, and that's beyond the control of the creator. So there's a lot into programming money, but there are going to be a lot of these tokens out there because anybody with a couple clicks and about 2,800 hex or 2,800 hex. My brain's on hex. I still love hex. 2,800 pulls are going to be able to make a token out of thin air, as many as they want, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to give them value. And that's the thing you need to understand. There are going to be very few things that actually hold value and use case.
That's right. Yeah. And Hex is one of them.
So what we got in there, man? You got a whole bunch of chat you probably want to read through there.
Yeah. Somebody's saying Chaos coin to the moon.
God, no.
But Bitfinesse is here. He says, I never understood selling crypto unless you're old. I have nightmares sometimes of watching the price absolutely explode after 10 or 20 more bull markets, only to realize I sold it all decades before. There you go.
Unless you're old. What are you trying to say there, you little leprechaun?
Yeah.
Taking a stab at the old man?
Yeah.
I'm saying to punch your bag back up here.
Yeah, right? Chaos and Maddie know what's up. Two heavyweights. When Haas doc review, I think you mean Thos. like the highest of stakes. I mean, we could talk a little bit about it now. I'm going to interview the directors, I think, here on Wednesday. So that's something to look forward to. What do you think of the documentary previews?
Well, we're just going to have to see. I mean, they said that, the best parts are not in the trailer. They didn't like a trailer that gives away all the hidden attributes. I've heard rumor that I've got kind of a Stan Lee style cameo. So I'm curious about what parts they use. They actually, because the crew was here and they filmed quite a bit, but despite how much attention everybody thinks that I want, when they brought the big cameras in here, and even when I went on local news and TV, I hate the big cameras, guys. It's not the same as turning on your phone and having a conversation with yourself and the phone and then posting it on Twitter and then not realizing that a bunch of people are watching it. Then when a Hollywood crew comes out and sets up the big cameras and they wire you all up and put the big lights on you and they're having you move around to the proper lighting and everything, and you're just nervous as hell. So, it's like, well, what have I gotten myself into? So it was a little bit nerve wracking. So I don't know what parts they will use. I gave them, I downloaded on a thumb drive and gave them all my content to use, and they could just use whatever they wanted to use. So we'll see what happens there. I think from what I've heard from people that have watched it, which I'm not one. Apparently, I was about $40,000 shy of getting in on that. Even though I donated a good chunk, not quite enough. So I didn't get in on the I didn't get in on any of the viewing. So I've got no idea. And some of the places where they're showing, I'm not too excited. I'm not too excited about going to the big city of Chicago again. I went up there to visit everybody and hang out, but I don't want to go back to go watch another viewing. I'm happy to wait. I'm patient.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's going to hit Netflix. Maddie and me were actually looking out front of the casino down here where I'm at. Would be an awesome place right as you exit the casino to put a highest of stakes poster, because that would be epic.
Yeah, if it was like now released worldwide.
Yeah, if it's released worldwide where you can tell them to go straight to Netflix. I mean, it's kind of cool because like right down from a drive-in theater, but nobody goes to freaking drive-in theaters anymore anyway. And if they do, they ain't watching the damn movies. So,
and why is it that Hex would be such a good match for people coming out of a casino? Because
you win. You get more coins by operating the contract than less coins. So that's the difference, right? Gambling is you're taking a chance. You're taking a chance that you're going to get more coins. And Hex, the only chance is that the price is going to go lower than we already are, which is pretty damn low.
Yeah.
And you're still going to make more coins because that's what the code does. If you stake, you're adding. You get more coins every day if you're staked. So you're adding. That's a saving account. That's not gambling. Now you can speculate on when the price is going to be up, when the price is going to be down, and all that stuff like any other cryptocurrency. But the idea behind it is you're always earning more coins, and that's what's effective. You're building your inventory. You're stocking your shelves so that when it's time to sell, you have more to sell than you started with to begin with.
I made a famous quote last night. I'm pretty proud of. It's like, well, it starts off like I didn't make up the first part. It's like, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Right.
And then I said in crypto, you might miss 100,000%. So that's to say that, like, yeah, the downside is that you could have bought the top and be down 99%. And like, if you had staked, you're only down 70% or something.
And if you've been buying this whole time, you're not down 90% anymore.
Exactly.
There's only this big of a window that you could have bought the top. There's this big of a window. There's only so many days that you get at these top levels, right? If you are buying, like Coffee did a video. We're going to be seeing Coffee here a little bit later today too. Coffee did a video about if you would have just bought like a robot, okay, $100 every week, you'd still be up. You wouldn't be down 90%. Why? Because the majority of the time, the price is down. The majority of the time, the price is down. A robot that doesn't care about the price whatsoever will outperform you if you are only buying tops and not participating when the prices are low. And he does a video on this that you can see on his channel, and it's something like the secrets, or this will change your understanding of crypto forever. He's got like a thing there, and it talks about dollar cost averaging, and he proves it with math that, you know, at these points through the timeline, and he didn't like cherry pick anything. It was just randomly buying $100 a week instead of spending $5,000 all at once. It was just randomly buying $100 a week and what the performance would be on that. And
you can see that on hexfire.io. There's a portal that shows you even current to this day what would have happened if you bought $100 periodically.
Can you give them a link to that? Let them check that out. Crispy Man does a real good job, and that's one of the cool things with the Hex Stop Fire is it's got all kinds of interesting analytics that you can look at. But it doesn't matter what you're looking at if you're not participating. You know, you know, we were talking about today. It's like, did you ever think that we would ever see where you could actually get 1 million hex for under $10,000?
It's been a minute.
I mean, you know, at the top, 1 million hex at the top was $500,000, guys. You can get what was valued at $500,000 today for $9,000. If it goes back up, you got that plus yield. So if it doesn't go back up, well, whatever. I don't know what to tell you. You got to make the decision on whether or not you think we're going to make a new all-time high. Never. Someday, a couple years from now. Does it really matter when it happens if you know that it's going to happen eventually, or you believe that it's eventually going to happen? If it doesn't happen, yeah, but where we're at now, it's so asymmetrical. It's astounding, right? So for like us OGs, it's kind of cool to be below a penny. You know why? Because there was no way in hell we were going to be able to add 1 million hex to our positions, because it was, you know, you have to come up with $500,000 at the top. There was just no, you know, hey, let me go find an extra $500,000 so I can add 1 million hex to my stack, please. So it's been quite the gift to be down at these prices and having a second go at it, having a second round where, you know, the first time we went there, nobody thought it would do 50 cents. Nobody thought it would do a penny. Everybody was like, no, we can't do a penny because market cap would be too high. You'll be over 90 billion, 100 billion. You can't do that, right? And sure enough, we hit a penny, and we're back there again. And guess what? People are like, well, you're back at a penny. You were a penny 3 years ago. Yeah, guess what? T-shares were 1/3 the cost too. So your T-shares that you got 3 years ago at a penny are worth 3 times as much as a T-share that you can buy today. You realize that? Because it was 10,000 hex to buy a T-share, and now it's almost 30,000 hex to buy a T-share. So even when the price returns, locking in those T-shares is very important because you're never going to get that opportunity again. So, hey, you do you, guys. You got to decide what you want to do, what you can afford to risk, and, you know, what you believe. If you believe we're dead, we're gone, we're never going up again, don't buy. But if you're just going to buy the top and you're not going to offset your balance, well, you're just going to have to wait a long freaking time. And it's a lot easier when you're offsetting that through time and buying at the lower prices and bringing your cost average down. So, and nobody knows how long we're going to be here.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't get diamonds overnight. They have to be
time, pressure
cooked,
and the right conditions, guys.
Yeah.
Good. Read your chat.
Yeah, people are liking our shirts.
They're liking our shirts. Like my skull shirt. Here we go.
That's right. I'm representing Bitcoin Miami, the latest community that I vampired. What's up, y'all? Check C-Hex my pulse.
Checks my pulse.
Checks my pulse to see if I'm alive. Okay.
We're live.
We're live.
We're not only alive, but we're live.
That's right. Let's see. If it all goes to 0, we still did okay.
As long as Hex has some value, you make some money. And it can't have 0 value because you can't have 0 value on a Uniswap. You can have near 0, but you can't have absolute 0. Well, you've got ghost chains, right? So are people going to stop using Ethereum network? Are they going to completely stop using Ethereum network overnight?
Probably not.
Probably not. Now, new chains, ETH Fair, ETHW, whatever, they weren't supported. There's no additional network. There's no additional ramps. They have not been supported yet. But even ghost chains like those, they could get a revival. Somebody could at some point decide, hey, I'm going to build something over here. It's not likely, but it is possible.
Yeah.
So
it's up to the whales.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt you to have coins over there. No, you can't extract the value right now, but it doesn't hurt you for them to be over there. And I think people need to remember that, right? It doesn't hurt you to hold more coins. What it does hurt you to do is sell them at the wrong time. It's never going to hurt you to hold additional coins. Where it gets you is when you're willing to take less for them, when you're willing to dump them for next to nothing. I call it garage selling your stuff, right? You don't go to Best Buy, buy a brand new TV, and take it home and put it in your garage sale for $1. And if you're selling your Hex right now, that's exactly what you're doing with penny Hex. You're garage selling your shit. And until people stop garage selling, which is fine, I'll take a deal just like anybody else. But when people are finally done, then the price can go up. But until they're done, guys, we're talking about this today. We're stuck at 120,000 stakers. We've been stuck at 120,000 stakers for about a year. Nobody's talking about it. Why? Because they don't want to face the reality of the fact that we are not onboarding new users. We are not teaching people the benefits of Hex. We are not teaching people how to stake. All we got now is we've got a bunch of degens running around chasing green candles, shifting their economic energy from one chain to the next, and accomplishing absolutely nothing except buying tops, and then people get bored, and then they sell it down. That's all they're doing. And, you can tell this why. Well, it's 0.1% difference in the staking volume on the Pulse side versus the EHEX side. You got 0.1% more stakers. So are gas fees really affecting that right now? I don't see really any more staking activity happening over there. Aren't they supposed to be excited that they can stake for cheap? Well, first of all, your staking function only happens twice. Once when you stake, and once when you unstake. We're not seeing a lot of staking action happening over there. So I'm not feeling like people believe more over there right now because they're not staking. The stakes, and we're not adding to it. We're not really adding to that pool, right? So you're not really seeing any more activity on Ethereum. It's pretty much staying constant around the same level of percentage staked. And then overall Pulse, you're not seeing an increase in staking. So what you're seeing is people are not feeling confident in the system in general, and they're not using the mechanism as it's intended. The stakes that were carried over are the stakes that were carried over. It's not new staking activity happening. Of course, Crispy could probably analyze and say, oh, yeah, but we had one coming here. We had one coming over here. But the balance line is we're still we're still just kind of flatlining right now, guys. And I don't think we're going to see an improvement until we get those green candles. And people are going to get bored because they're not seeing instant gratification. They're not seeing instant price appreciation, and they are liable to dump. And guess what? That is your opportunity. That is where you can step in and buy it up because you value it. You know that you got the deal. You know that somebody's giving away something for a cheap price, and you're going to take advantage of that opportunity. If you're not looking at it like that, go ahead, tap out, hit the little tappy button, go away because you're dragging us down. If you're just going to whine, tap out. The sooner people get out, the sooner we can start to go up when people start valuing what they hold and not chasing new shiny objects. And now we know what new shiny objects are and how easy they are to create now, don't we? Yeah. Have we learned something? Who do you feel more confident in? Random coin or billionaire founder that doesn't need the money?
Second one.
All right, Maddie, this is your show.
So a couple of people saying good to see us in Chicago a couple days ago. Good to see you guys too. Thanks for showing up here in the chat. Ovidian Hex says, I'm chilling with Time Pays Me. I'm locked in. That's right. And for those of you following along at home, we just passed 1 billion PulseX, and I think we're close to 1 billion Pulse that have been locked on Time Pays Me for varying lengths. So that's pretty exciting that you can save yourself from yourself there. Very cool. Saw a couple other people saying hi. Not in Chicago at the moment, no. Chaos on the left, give me hopium. Maddie on the right, to get rid of the drawdown trauma. There you go. Is the offboarding process difficult?
On which side? Pulse side?
I don't know. On either side, I'd say it's pretty easy. If you figured out how to swap into something, you can pretty much figure out how to swap out of it and then bridge back if you're bridged in and send it to your bank account. There you go. Let's see. Facing reality. I think we are. Facing reality. You guys are awesome. Let's go, Pulsekins. Are you guys still buying or just shilling? Both, sir. Both. What are the odds Hex gets the attention it deserves on the next bull run?
Well, I think that's going to be good, guys. So here's the thing. The movie's not going to pump your bag. The NASCAR is not going to pump your bag. Okay? All these things are not going to pump your bag. What it does is it's like putting the sign out for the politician in your front yard. Okay? You put the sign out for your politician in the front yard. Well, when people go to their lists and they go to find these things, they now know what they're looking for. Okay? There's 20,000 coins out there, and there's new ones being made every day. And now with apps like this app that we have on PulseBurn, pretty much anybody could go make 100 tokens. Gary just made 30 overnight. Okay. So if you got 1,000 people making 30 tokens a night, you can literally 10x the size of the coins that are available on the market in a fraction of the time, right? So, God, where was I going with this? My train of thought just derailed, guys.
What are the odds Hex gets the attention it deserves on the next bull run?
Yeah, so what you get is you have to do these things that people are like, well, that's not going to make the price go up. This is not going to make the price go up. You have to have that word association, like what we were talking about, those popular words, Pikachu, right? Or the Ginsler coin, right? You have to have word association so people know to look for that thing, right? So people leaving the casino have just lost their ass, and they see a thing saying the highest of stakes, and they hear about this thing called Hex. So they log into their Coinbase, and they're like, well, I can't buy it. Oh, wait. Coinbase says you can buy it with Coinbase Wallet. Click here. Download Coinbase Wallet. Guess what? Now they can buy Hex. Okay? Without ever going to the website, without ever listening to any of us, without having any influence whatsoever, people can just go and make their own decision, right? And that's what we need them to have the ability to do. Is we need to have that visibility. We need to have that branding. We need to have that name recognition. We need to have that in place so that when the green candles do come and they hear the announcement, like I heard the announcement about Bitcoin, which was pennies last I looked. Next thing I knew, it was $2,000. When it hits the news and people go, oh, Hex is now $2. And they're like, wait a minute, I heard about that at a penny. Oh my God, let me go check that out. And the funniest thing is, the higher the prices go, the more people buy. And think about this for a second, guys. Do people buy Rolexes because they're cheap? No. Do people buy Lamborghinis because they're cheap? No. You know, I did a convention trade show. And I try to give you guys, you know, this is not just to talk about me. This is just try to give you a practical example to understand. But I was young and I did my first show, and I thought I was going to go in and underprice everybody. I was going to sell for cheap. I was going to undercut everybody's price. And I went in there with 400 masks. 400 masks that I made by hand myself. All year long, I worked towards this convention. And I brought them all, and I had them all stuffed up underneath the desk. And I had them priced for $35 a piece. I thought I was going to make a fortune, right? And so people would walk up, and they would ask how much was the mask. I'm like, $35. You know, I'm good $15 under the nearest competitor, right? I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this, right? And they would look at it, and they'd be like, oh, this is really cool. How much? And I say $35. They'd set it down. This went on the whole show, right? And then finally at the end, you know, just to make the story speed up, finally at the end, this guy looks at it. He asked me how much. I said 35. He started to put it down. He picked it back up and looked at it, and he goes, so what's wrong with it? And I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong with it? What's wrong with you? You guys won't spend $35? I busted my ass to do all this work, and it's like I can't sell these things, you know, and I'm flipping off. You know, I'm just going crazy about this, right? You know, it's like, what is wrong with you cheap people? You know, it's like, I was just so mad. It's like, don't you appreciate good work? Of course not. Because the guy next to me had masks for $200. And because his masks were $200, they had a higher perceived value. They thought they were getting more for their money because they were paying more. Not because it was better, because they were paying more. When you price something low, people think something's wrong with it. That's where we are with Hex right now. Nobody thinks it's valuable because it's so damn cheap that they have no idea that it has any value. They're like, it's only a penny. Yeah, it's only a penny. Yeah, until it's not, right? So the guy buys the mask. He goes, oh, okay, thank you. Here's your money. Thanks, I'll take it. And I'm thinking to myself, so you mean by underpricing and being willing to take a lesser price, I was just literally chipping myself out of money? Instead of valuing my hard work and asking for a reasonable price, instead, I was willing to sacrifice that price, and it didn't work anyway because I was giving it away for less than I wanted to. So I had to do more work for less money in order to fail and only sell one my 400 masks that I had there. Let me tell you a little something. I never had a sham of a convention like that ever again, because I went back and went through this whole process of figuring out what to do. I mean, I really felt at that point in time, I mean, I could have just given up. I wanted to break my sculpting tools. I wanted to quit. I wanted to say I sucked. I wanted to burn everything that I had, say, screw it. I'm not going to sell it at all. I'm just going to set it all on fire. I mean, I had a lot, but you have to step back and need to look at things and you need to go, okay, why did things happen the way they did? What happened here? What went wrong? Where was my logic flawed? How could I have done this differently, right? And I'll tell you a little something about doing trade shows. If you're desperate to sell, people sense that, right? And they're not likely to buy from you. There are artists that are sitting behind their table like this, like, yep, $500. Yep, that one's 5,000. Yep. And they don't care. They don't care whether you buy it. And you know what? High-end collectors will come and buy their 1 or 2 pieces, and they'll buy them, and they won't have anything left at their booth, and then they're gone. Right? And that happens. Why? Because they're not willing to take less. They're willing to wait. They're willing to wait until they get their value out of it, and eventually they get it. But if you're not willing to wait and you're willing to give it away, don't worry. There'll be somebody there to pick it up. There'll be somebody that values it more than you do. That's how it works.
Yeah. Take that, all you people in masks. PHL didn't rug you. You literally didn't check their website, and they already gave out their tokens. So do your own research before you make outrageous claims. Let me see. Franklin, I could tell everyone a million good ideas to pump our bags. The problem is a lot of people don't have the skills or are unwilling to learn, as it would take time editing, visual creation, shorts, perception.
And it's still awareness, Franklin. It's still awareness. And until people see those green candles and they start to realize that it does have value, and now I'm just a disembodied voice, isn't that cool? So until they realize it does have value, that's when they're going to buy. So all these fancy things that we do are just another reason for people to realize that this thing exists, but they're not going to buy until that perception of value changes. And we're not going to do that by everybody garage selling their shit and letting their tokens go for cheap.
What's up, Hexander? He's catching up from the beginning. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.
Colin Hexander, he's one of our Michigan, or not Michigan, but Midwest people that wanted to come in for the adventure here, and we're just doing just a couple people here, Colin. I'm going to reschedule the big event for a time when prices are up, because I'd rather you guys right now be building your bags and not selling your bags, because I don't want you to miss out.
Yep.
Hey, you want to spin it for a second and shoot the dragon?
Hell yeah.
I'm melting.
Yeah.
We can only shoot it so much, man, and it'd totally fill up this room.
It would.
I don't know why that. Why is my clicker not working?
We should have made this the background.
What? Dragons?
Yeah.
There we go. Where's my pass? My pass.
Much like the dragon eats people who are being sacrificed, so too did the pulse sacrifice amount get taken, never to be heard from again. That's the legend of the sacrifice. How do you explain? Well, you explain it that we have no expectations, and that's part of what makes DeFi is to not expect somebody to buy your bags back because it was a sacrifice.
I got this. Hey, if you buy a hamburger, do you say, hey, I ate the hamburger, now give me my money back? And in what world do you buy anything and say, Give me my money back. If you sacrificed, guess what? You got your tokens. You want your money back? Sell your tokens. Don't like your price? Guess what? If you drive a car off the lot, it goes down 10% immediately, doesn't it? Right? If you buy anything, if you go to Best Buy and you buy a TV, are you going to get the same price that you paid for it? Not unless you're buying something rare that's off the market and everybody wants it. If you buy up a PlayStation, maybe you can put it on eBay for double the price or whatever. But that's what you're doing. You got something already. You got what you sacked for. Okay. So you don't get double. That money is gone. You don't ask the cashier, what are you going to do with my money now that I gave it to you? That does not work in the real world at all. It's so weird that people think that someone in crypto is going to buy it back. When you go to GameStop, okay, and you buy a brand new video game, it costs you $70. You go back in to trade that video game back in, they'll give you $350, right? Next guy comes in and buys that game used. What do they pay? $17.50, right? So guess what? They made money. Why? Because they're business. That's what they did. That's how it goes, right? So I don't understand where the real principles or concept of this is, assuming that you gave money to somebody, you got a product, and now you want your money back on top of the product that they gave you. Is it not free enough for you? You know? And plus, when you sacrificed, you were actually sacrificing to be part of a sacrifice set that may receive zero value tokens, which you not just did through Pulse. You received multiple airdrops and qualifications as a result of being part of that club. When you pay dues to be a part of a club, when you quit the club, do you want your money back? Because that's what you were really kind of sort of doing, is becoming part of a club, part of a group of people that were in this pool that qualified for potential airdrops in the future, right? When you get a subscription or you go to college, hey, look, when you get a job, shouldn't you call college up and say, hey, I got my job now give me my money back? Yeah. Right? No, you'll be paying on student loans for the rest of your damn life after after you get that job, right? So not only that, they're taking it back from you. So you really want to know where you get screwed. You get screwed when you pay for college and you're paying student loans back for the rest of your life for the job that you finally got that you had to get on your own anyway, right? So,
so a diploma is like a promise coin.
A diploma is a promise coin. On your own efforts, though, because they ain't doing shit for you after that. The college is not going to give you the job. No, they give you the piece of paper that says you're qualified for the job. So your degree is being part of a sacrifice set of people that donated their money to college to get a piece of paper that says they're part of a sacrifice set to maybe someday get a high-paying job as a result of being part of that sacrifice set. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And yet your college is not going to give you back your money or buy your job back from you either. Okay?
Yeah. You have to do the work. They're not going to do the work for you. You know, it's just like when you draw a picture of a pony. That's
your pony.
Yep, it's your pony picture.
Now you need to market it. Now you need to sell it. Now you need to decide how much it is worth to you.
That's right. And onboard people. Let's see here. That dragon is sick. Breathing fire.
Of course, we're hanging the light fixture through here, so it kind of obstructs it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. There you go. What's up from Brisbane? Ah!
Matt is like, make it stop, man. It's fogging up in here. There's only 900 square feet in here, so.
Yeah.
That badass fogger can do a whole hell of a lot.
My 6-year-old loves dragons. I'll show him this tomorrow. There you go.
I got several in here.
Lots of love to the Hex community. Imagine we are all wealthy and healthy. We are one and connected. Let's see.
It's so funny, you know. It's why in crypto does everybody want to know what you're going to do with your money? You know, it's the weirdest thing in the world. I mean, when you meet somebody, you say, "Hey, what are you going to do with your money?" You know?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about scammed? Hey, you want to talk about what people do with their money? Let's talk about the fiat system. Let's talk about what's the government doing with all that tax money you pay them. What are they doing with that? First of all, they don't even need it. You know they don't need it? You know why they don't need it? Because they print as much as they want. They've got admin keys. It's got an inflation bug. They can print out as much as they want. They can hand it out to their friends. They can inflate it to oblivion. And they still tax you for half of it back. Why do they do that? They don't need to. There's no reason for them to need to. It's just control. It's just control. But really, you want to talk about the scam, guys? You're in a system that we're all in, that we all have to pay our bills in fiat, right? And they can print as much as they want. And guess what? They're not buying their bonds back. You follow me here? They issued a whole bunch of bonds that they're not buying back. Think about that. People invested in the US dollar thinking that, it was going to hold value. And they invested in bonds because that was the safe thing to invest in, right? And they're not buying those back. They're not honoring those bonds. You get 0% freaking bonds where it costs you to hold them.
Yeah. Where does the fiat go?
Where does the fiat go? Anywhere but in your pocket.
That's right. The government has the biggest sacrifice of them all.
Yeah.
Good job on the community engagement. Give me liberty or give me Hex.
Hey, Maddie!
Yeah.
I found a 10,000X, man. This shit's just laying around all over the place. You just look and you find a 10,000X. I bet that next coin that I find is going to 10,000X too. Don't you know 10,000Xs? They're just laying everywhere, man. Everything does a 10,000X. You just look around, just pull them right out of the air, and there it is. It's 10,000X. I don't think it spins for anything, but they're just laying around, guys. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. The way Johnny explains everything is pure gold.
There seem to be lots of creeps out tonight. There's one right behind you.
Yeah.
Made you look.
Oh, it
The way to the living now.
didn't make me look.
We are the ones you do.
Hey, do you guys like horror movie stuff?
Yeah, they do.
Wait, give me a hand here, Maddie.
What do we got?
Show this to him. That's the centerpiece.
Okay.
This one goes to that side, I believe. This one goes to this side. This one goes to this side. So we're gonna hold it up. So I'm gonna have you stand here behind. Come back behind here. So pinch these two together, and then hold this one.
All right.
And then I'm gonna grab these two, and I'm gonna pinch these two together. Are we lined up? Let's see. Look at that. That's a pretty cool painting, isn't it? Isn't that sweet? I don't know if he's lined up, or you got your faces lined up on that side. You got to see where it lines up on that side. That's pretty sweet, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got to put this up in my office. I haven't got around to it yet, but it's a multi-panel.
Very cool.
It's got all the horror classics on it.
Oh, now we can see the other dragon too. Sweet. Let's see. Wow, 10,000X just laying around.
Everything can do a 10,000X, don't you know?
People are angry. They're like, oh, Hex won't even get anywhere near that number, let alone a 10X from now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we got somebody in the chat who thinks Hex can't do a 10X.
That sounds like an Eric Wall thing to say.
Yeah.
Don't be an Eric.
It's his alt account.
Yeah, don't be an Eric.
Uh,
Eric's still mad that he missed the first 10,000X. Here's
That's
the
right.
thing. Here's the thing, guys. when it goes up 1,000, if it goes up 100x and it comes down 90%, guess what? You're only up a 10x. If it goes up 10,000x and it goes down 90%, you're still up 1,000x. That's a big freaking difference between a 10 and 1,000. How high do you think Bitcoin's going to go? Do you think it's going to go to $250,000? You think it's going to get there? That's a 10x. So on the high end, your most potential is potentially a 10x. Well, what does Hex got to do? What does Hex got to do to get a 10x? Go back up to 10 cents, which is 1/5 of a known achievable range of a 10. It's 1/5 of its previous all-time high, which means let me tell you how critical 10,000 is. Let me tell you how critical owning 10,000 Hex is. First of all, it's less than $100 on the Ethereum side. We're not doing the debate. I don't care which side you pick. I don't care which side you get. But right now, you can buy 10,000 Hex for a penny. Okay. If it goes up a penny, guess what you get? Another $100. Goes up a penny, you get another $100. Goes up a penny, you get another $100. So your risk reward right now is you put $100 in, you may lose the $100. But if it goes up a penny, every penny it goes up is another $100. We're not even talking about yield. We're talking about in the position that you're in right now. Which is going to happen first? Is Bitcoin going to go up to $250,000 or $300,000 for 10x? Okay. Or is Hex going to return to 10 cents? Where would you put your money? What would you bet on? Knowing that on the Ethereum side, a $1 million order, $1 million market buy moves the price 34%. $1 million buy. Now that's without people selling it back down, which they will, but that's how much it moves. Do you know how much $1 million buy moves Bitcoin? Maybe a penny. Might move a penny on some exchange. Maybe. But Bitcoin moving a penny is not going to help you because you don't own, even if you own a full Bitcoin and it moves a penny, you gain a penny. If Hex gains a penny, you gain $100. Think about that. Just break it down for a second and realize the power. Right now, let's assume you hate Hex. Let's assume you hate the shit out of it. Okay? Why would you still not own $100 worth in case you were wrong? Why would you not hedge against yourself? How silly is it? Do you not have $100? Well, if you don't have $100, stop buying crypto. Just stop, tap out right now, shut off the video, let it go. You don't have enough money for your bills. You don't need crypto. Just stop right there.
Not financial advice, but if you don't hit the like button, get out.
So I mean, $100 hedge in Hex gets you 10,000 Hex, which every time it moves a penny, you get $100. Not counting staking, not counting any of that. So asymmetrical risk, total asymmetrical risk. And we can say not financial advice, but I'm telling you, you can lose 100 or you could gain 1,000 if it goes up a 10x, right? You can lose 100, but you could potentially gain 1,000. And I'm going to tell on us, Maddie. We just blew $100. We're guilty. We went and played some cards. We just blew $100. Both of us. We got our asses kicked. We were doing okay there for a little bit, but we blew $100. We're guilty. Okay. Had we bought 10,000 worth of Hex, this is where you get to pick back at us because we should have bought the 10,000 Hex. And you too.
We would still have 10,000 Hex.
We would still have 10,000 Hex. And you know what? This is the thing, right? This is the thing. You can be smarter than us right now, and you can say, "Ha guys, you went to the casino, you blew $100 each, but I bought Hex, and guess what? Now I've got $1,000, and you guys lost $100."
Yeah.
So what do you do with your crypto, right? Look, Everybody has vices. You buy fireworks? Go to the strip club? Go to the bar? What do you do? What do you do that you could cut out? What do you do that you could say, let me just save a little bit of money? Let me
I
just
stopped
save.
drinking coffee about a week and a half ago.
What can you cut out? What can you cut out to put a little bit aside? Right now, it is absolutely ridiculous to hold any less than 10,000 hex. It is absolutely a ridiculous concept to hold less than 10,000 hex. It's $100. I mean, you see these people that are high rollers and they're like, I put $40,000 into a meme coin, but you couldn't put $100 into hex. How lame. How lame.
Yeah, wrecked.
Asymmetrical risk, guys. We never thought we would get to a penny. Everybody said it's not possible. Market cap would be too high, and then it went up to 50 cents.
Here we are, back at a penny.
So guess what? There is a big difference between a known, possible, achievable range and a speculative number that it hasn't reached yet. Okay? We know on 120,000 stakers, we went up to 50 cents. We know it's possible. It's not a question. When we were doing it, guess what? We didn't know. We didn't know it was going to hit 50 cents. We were just as shocked as everybody else. We were just as surprised. We were just as euphoric. We were excited. People are like, oh, you got us to buy the top. We were pretty damn excited.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be excited? If everybody was telling you that it would never even do a penny and then it goes up to 40, 50 cents, wouldn't you be celebrating? Wouldn't you be dancing in the aisles? How are you going to react when you do your first 50X, right? How are you going to react? How are you going to react knowing that today it's a penny and then a year or two from now it's going to be 40 cents? Let me ask you this. Does it have to be next month? Does it have to be? If you know or believe, okay, that we're going to go from a penny to 40 cents, do you really care how long it takes to get there? If you know that it's going to happen, right? If you know that that is a known achievable range that has happened in the past, they say past performance is no indication for future results. But, however, we know it's possible. Before Hex was ever a penny, we did not know that it was even achievable, that it was even possible, that it was even able to happen, right? But we believed. And because we believed, we were rewarded for it. What are you trying to do? Clean the camera? It's blurry. Matt is using his shirt to clean the camera.
Is that better? It's about the same.
So anyway, that's where I stand on it. Look, it's silly. You don't own 10,000 hex. I don't know why. Just silly not to.
Somebody asked, any reason to buy eHex on Uniswap on Ethereum versus buying Hex from Ethereum on PulseX?
Whatever works for you, man. And the reason would be because new onboards are probably not going to be familiar with the bridge, and that is one additional step. But if you already have money over on that network, it doesn't matter where you buy it. Doesn't matter. Whatever works for you, you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. My knees.
Your knees. You need stem cells now.
Oh. Grinding.
I love a day dismal night.
Good to see you guys. Hope the bull market begins soon.
And all our fiendish friends crawl out from their hiding places to terrorize you big.
What's up, Hex Toys? Thanks for the package you sent. Appreciate it.
Even more creatures
Just
that cries of pain and fear.
We didn't want to run through
One more time. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Ha 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 ha. Bitfinesse, I wonder how many people bought at 30 cents and are currently scared to buy at these prices. Oh, how my heart fills with joy. They can buy my Hex at 1,000 per coin. Wow. Bitfinesse, the trucker with the most. Well, we got a lot of truckers in the Hex community who rock.
Bitfinesse.
Bitfinesse has been around the longest. 100%. Folks going to be very disappointed if they trade their bags away. It's going to go up too fast for reaction and can happen any day. Hex got to 55 cents with 55,000 stakers. Now there are 120,000. By the way, Metcalfe's law and all. Build your bag, don't trade.
Wait for the prices to come to you. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. You know, you're gonna make your most money by being in a position where you don't have to be in a hurry. And if you're leveraging, that's gonna put you in a position where you need to get a return. You need to get a return quick. And what happens in those positions, you think, oh, well, I'm just gonna put a whole bunch in and then take a whole bunch out. Yeah, well, what happens is you end up putting yourself in a situation where you need to start selling the lows. And then you put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to sell at a discount because you put more money in than you can manage. And that's not what's going to help you. What's going to help you is being in a position where you can put money that you don't worry about, that you don't need to worry about. You know, think about all the stuff you waste money on. Think about all the stuff that you buy that you don't need. Think about all that stuff that you could just say, okay, look, I'm just going to, you know, I like fireworks is one thing, right? You know, because you burn them up and they're gone, right? If you treat your money like it's gone and you come back and check on it when it's time, it really doesn't matter what fireworks are going off. It only matters at the time that you come and check back on it. And if you don't like the position, stake it again. Stake it again, push it farther out. Push it out to where it might hit a price point that you want to see, right? But the thing is, by having these speeches and talks that I give you guys, I'm delaying the inevitable. You know, I'm delaying, you know, the weak hands that are going to quit anyway. You know, it drags it out. You know, I just assume if you don't believe, tap out. Just go ahead and tap out, get it over with so we can get this show on. If you believe, shut up and add to your bag. Just shut up and add to your bag. You're not going to get these prices forever. It's not going to happen.
Or onboard people now.
And onboard people now. Because you know what? These people are going to be calling you at 50 cents and then they're going to want to buy. You know, I had a lot of people, you know, 20 cents. They're like, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. I'm like, you know, guys, you know, we're getting, it's getting a little hot. You know, we didn't know we were going to break a penny. And next thing you know, you're 20 cents and you're like, and everybody's wanting to get in and then they're mad at you. It's like, well, you asked me. I told you when it was a penny. I told you when it was 0.0003. But did you listen? No, you didn't listen. You didn't want to buy then. You know why? Perception of value. That's that whole thing that I told you guys. People will buy more at higher prices because it will have a higher perceived value at that point. And unfortunately, they think something's wrong with it because the prices are down. You need to straighten your head and go, there's nothing wrong with it. The code is what the code is. We know what it's capable of. We know what it can do. Just right now, there's a discount. It's a sale. It's a sale. And yes, you can get 25% off of your 10% off your 10% off, right? You know, it's like Kohl's coupons going on over here. You know, you keep adding up all these discounts, and then people are like, hey, it's not worth anything. It keeps going down. But if you're adding to your position, you are lowering your entry price. So when it does go up, it doesn't have to go up as high to hit your break-even point. You have all of this time in the world to be buying Hex under 3 cents. All of this time in the world. But instead, what people do is they buy the top, they sell, or they get mad and they just refuse to buy anymore because they're not dumping any more money in the money pit. Well, guess what? The people that are brave enough to dump the money in the money pit build their positions. The people that are mad and don't change their situation, they're just mad about a situation that they chose not to change. That's all they're doing. Who are you really mad at? You're mad at you for your own decisions. You're mad at you for picking the time that you did. But instead of trying to do something to improve the situation, they just rather be mad. And that doesn't help.
Operation Shutdown. What I will remember from this stream is Johnny's story about perception of value. Thanks to Hex Live for the super chat, $10 super chat. All I want to do is hang with Maddie and Johnny. And here you are hanging with us on the interwebs. And looks like the meetup will be rescheduled here to where there will be a whole day of fun with the both of us. See the pinball place was closed.
Pinball place was closed. The
Yeah.
brewery's shut down right now.
Yeah.
I had to have them open up the brewery special today because they're not running Mondays. So anyway, what I was trying to do was I was trying to schedule it to coincide with the event that they had in Chicago, so people could come down this way and escape the city and not have to do all the city stuff, right? And there are some people that much rather not do the big city stuff at all because it's hard to find parking. You get charged out the ass for everything that you do there, right? So we try. I wanted to do something that was more of a small town sort of gathering type thing where we are in control. We take over the place, right? So there is an arcade that has over 100 pinball machines, and I was going to rent it myself with my money and have everybody come down. But unfortunately, the owner was out of town, and it would not line up with the event that was happening in Chicago to try to reschedule for another day. And then I rethought it a little bit more too, is I don't want you guys spending money while the prices are down right now. I don't want you cashing in your hex at these low prices. I want you to build your position. I want to do an event when the prices are back up and you're able to take a little bit off the table without hurting your position. Because right now, this is where you want to build your position. And I want you guys to all have that opportunity to build your position. I would feel terrible if you were spending money to come out and visit and hang out for a day if it was going to affect your future. So that's what I want you to do. Take the money that you would have spent to come out to this event, if the event were to happen, and go ahead and stock up some more hex, stake it, and start earning that sweet, sweet trustless yield that outperforms everything, including yield farming and chasing shiny objects, because it's guaranteed, because it's immutable. It is guaranteed income. It is not a liquidity farm that can be pulled at any time via the code, okay, on any platform. All of these liquidity farming things are temporary. Yes, if you chase them, you can, maybe earn a little bit more money when you're doing that. But effectively, if you're staking your staking ladder over time, nothing's going to outperform your yield. And it's by design that way.
And if you can't help yourself and you need to go to a meetup, we've got something coming up here in Austin, Texas on August 4th and 5th. There's going to be a 48-hour live stream and a in-person event that's free if you go to plsaustin.com and get your ticket now before they run out. I'm probably going to cut the size of the room down and make it so that a much more chill environment. And I'm really excited about it. I think that having the highest of stakes coming out on the same weekend is going to be really epic. And
the movie premiere.
That's right. Yeah, it's going to be
it's coinciding with the movie premiere.
A lot to look forward to. And somebody asked if you buy hex from Ethereum on PulseX, would you have to bridge it to Ethereum in order to stake it?
Yes.
That is correct.
But you don't necessarily have to stake it, okay? Remember, staking is optional, all right? And you do need the step one is make sure you have a position, okay? At these prices, step one is make sure you have a position, okay? Whether it's the E side or P side, whatever. Make sure you have the position, because it took 33 days to go from 11 cents to over 33 cents, okay? When it goes quick. And then it's only up there for a little while, and then you've got the rest of the downtime. You have to program yourself to be willing to take some off the table to highs. Not everything, guys. This is not where you emergency unstake and wreck yourself. Okay. You have to take some profit for yourself at the highs. And you never want, it's Hex is kind of the first coin that is never out. You know, what I tell people is you don't really want to outsell your production. If you think of it like this, if you buy mining equipment, you're out that money. That money's gone, okay? You are out that money. You are never going to sell that mining equipment for the price that you paid for it. Nobody wants it. It's one use case, okay? And it expires. It becomes non-productive over time. So not only do you buy equipment that you don't get the money back out of, but eventually it becomes obsolete, and then you can't sell it even for pennies on the dollar. Okay, I was looking at skids full of ASIC miners that nobody wanted. Okay, and if you're buying Hex, you at least have the value of the coin. Okay, and you're using your Hex like the miners. But if you look at your Hex like it's your miners, and you're only selling your product, which is what you're producing, guess what? You have miners that work for you forever, and they don't go obsolete. They continue to work, right? And if you look at that money like it's gone, like miners, then you're only looking at what you're producing. And as long as Hex has any value you're producing, if Hex stays at a penny, let's say it never goes up to 10 cents. Let's say it stays at a penny. If you are staked for 10 years, you're still earning 40% on your money. You get that? If the price doesn't move, you're still earning 40% more coins that are still worth that penny value. You get that? If it goes up, then that's where the exponential gains happen. And it's just unbelievable.
Roger that. Hexiest man in the world. What's up, y'all? They are fun in person. Nice dragon. Keep up the good work, Maddie and Johnny. Just tuned in, watching this from the beginning. Frank, you guys are hilarious. Hey, thanks for being a member of the channel. Appreciate you, and good seeing you in Chicago there. Jules, I'm greedy. When the price is high, I think it will go higher. When the price is low, I think it will go lower.
Perception of value.
I think most people are like this. I have to act against my greed and fear instinct.
Yeah, and here's another thing, guys. Your perspective is skewed. You don't realize it, but your perspective is from your entry point. Your perspective is skewed, right? You don't know how much someone will pay. You don't know. You know what you've paid. You know what you're willing to pay, but you don't know what someone's willing to pay. Bitcoin's $30,000. What's it do that Hex doesn't? It doesn't matter, because the perception of the value is that it's worth $30,000, and whether you value it or not, somebody does, and there's a market for it. So don't project your feelings of what you think the price should be on anything, because you don't know. See this dragon behind me here? How much do you think he's worth? Got an idea? Let me tell you this. I've been asked to rent it out several times. I did rent it out. You know what I rented it out for? $2,000. Rented. That means I got $2,000 and they brought the dragon back. It's still my dragon. I just rented it. Okay? Who rents a dragon for $2,000?
John,
I didn't think there was anybody that was going to rent a dragon for $2,000, but guess what? They did. They said, how much do you want to rent that dragon? I said, $2,000. They said, here's a check. Don't think you know what people are willing to pay for something. Don't project your idea of what you think people will pay, because you don't know. You don't know. There were people buying monkey picks for $40,000, guys, and you won't pay a penny for Hex. People buying serial numbers loosely related to JPEGs that may or may not be hosted on the internet for $40,000
for the ability to brag about overpaying for a serial number that is loosely related to a JPEG that may or may not be hosted on the internet. People like to brag about overpaying for things. Richard's outrage marketing shows you that was directed towards the market of people that like to brag about overpaying for things. Me and Maddie, we like our cheap shit. We like to get a deal. We like it when the prices are down, because when the prices are down, that means we're getting a deal. We know that thing is worth more than what we're paying for it, and that makes us feel good. But some people insist on overpaying for things because they have the ability to do so, and it makes them feel good to pay higher prices because they can. So, once again, I will ask you, don't use your mind to project what you think someone else that is not in your situation is willing to pay, because I can tell you right now that people were willing to pay 50 cents for Hex before, and they'll be willing to pay 50 cents for Hex again.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm back down on my knees on the stupid floor.
I bought eHex today. Laugh my ass off, says Charles Stone. Bottom is a good place to buy, says Old Drippy.
There's somebody saying exit liquidity.
Where?
Dude, my computer's not even plugged in.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me tell you a little something. I got something for you, Mr. Exit Liquidity. Guess what? He who says exit liquidity all the time, projection. That is exactly what I'm talking about. People that say exit liquidity, do not listen to a goddamn word they say, because I'll tell you what, that is the exact person that is looking to exit on you. That is projection. When they run around going exit liquidity, exit liquidity, exit liquidity, exit liquidity, exit liquidity, that is what they want you to do, is they want you to do whatever they're telling you to do so that they can exit on you, because that's how they think. Let me tell you a little something. Guess what? With liquidity providing and yield earning and limit orders, no one has to sell Hex on market at all. When they figure that out, that they don't actually have to sell at market ever, that you can actually set a price and let the market meet you at that price, then you understand. Exit liquidity, boys, guess what? You're never going to win. You're going to lose, because you're looking for a lottery ticket mentality. You're looking for an all-in, all-out exit strategy, and you're going to dwindle your bag down to nothing. As Sami likes to say, you're going to fondle your soap in the shower till you got nothing left. You guys are the guys that took eHex and then traded 3 of them for 1 PHEX after emergency unstaking and losing your big payday bonus to trade for a coin to lose. Oh, I know what the exit liquidity boys are doing on chain. I get to see you guys, and I'm like, this is absolutely insane. I cannot believe people are willing to trade 3 coins for 1 and lose all of this position, lose 30% in like 10 days of their position, of their coins. Let me tell you a little something, guys. You want to increase your position. You want to trade 1 coin for 2, not 3 coins for 1. You want to increase the amount of bag size that you have, not decrease. The idea of saving is to increase your bag size, not deplete your bag size. Don't outsell your production. That's key. Don't outsell your production. If you're making 1,000 Hex a month, then you can sell 1,000 Hex a month. What you can't do is you can't sell 2,000 Hex a month because you're outselling your production, right? And as the T-share rate goes up, you're going to get less and less. So you have to be conscious of what your production is and what you're able to sell on the market without affecting your position. That's going to be much more beneficial to you down the road later. Of course, if you're staked for 2, 3, 5 years, guess what? You got price point. Am I backwards? Which way do I do this? Is this right? This is right. No, that's backwards on the screen, isn't it? That way? Okay. Yeah, so if it does this between point A to point B, who cares? If you know what's going up here, who cares what it does in between there? That's dumb. Why are you focusing on what it does between there? If you know you buy at this point and it's going to be more later, what do you care? None of us care. None of us care. It makes you feel good to see green candles. That's great. It makes everybody feel good, the green candles. You know what else it does when green candles come? It makes people get stupid. People get stupid. It's going up forever. Let me tap the buy button. And then they're bad. Then they're bad. Because they don't want to listen now. They want to call us at 20 cents. That's when they want to call us. They want to call us at 20 cents. And then they want to blame us because they didn't want to listen now. I ain't cheering at the top. I'm telling you right now, you know, if you're thinking about increasing your position, now's the time to do it. It is not going to stay here forever. Period. It's not.
Yeah.
I can't think of any reason why it would stay here.
Yeah. Like exit liquidity, I mean, that's something people say when they don't understand that there's a market with a willing buyer and a willing seller. And yeah, this is a volatile game, and just don't play if you don't want to. Algaray, all right, looking forward to the next 48-hour live stream coming to you soon. Coming to a YouTube near you soon. Coolest backdrop ever.
It's not a backdrop. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah. Now he's gonna hit the button again.
Hey, no. Let's spin the reefer around.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
That's the greeter at the front door.
And the view to the afterlife is at its thinnest. Yes, I can hear the voices of the spirits calling out to be released. And the souls of the living are so bright and vibrant to our eyes, like beacons in the night. Let's tear open the veil and release our brethren unto the world. Yes, this night shall be ours. Let the feast begin.
I gotta flip him off though because he's gonna keep going off anytime I walk in front of him.
Yeah. Motion activated. Oh, he won't die. Turned him off and he's still going. Okay. Kudos to you two kings. Is that a dragon behind chaos?
Oh yeah, it's another dragon.
He hath risen. Double dragon. Boom. Is your view just by hex? What about PLS and PLSX? I think it's all good for different purposes.
They're all connected.
They're all connected.
They all go together.
It's not based on the number of coins. It's based on the liquidity. Saying PLSX and PLS have too many coins to have any significant increase in price.
There's the dragon. Dragon.
Yeah.
I'll just toss Maddie around.
Look at me and all my dragon friends. They're pretty sweet. This is definitely the backdrop. Yeah. If Hex gets back to 50 cents, you will get a lot of requests to rent that dragon. That's 200K Hex you got for renting the dragon.
Yeah.
Don't tell people about the dragon or PETA will come knocking. Maddie, could you ask Johnny if we're able to buy both E-Hex or P-Hex, which will appreciate more over time?
They'll move together.
Move together.
Quit trying to pick a winning horse. Don't make the Bitcoin Cash situation. The two of the coins added together are going to be more valuable than one of them. If you make a choice you have a 50% chance of picking the wrong coin or selling the wrong coin. If you hold both, you have 100% chance that you don't sell the Bitcoin and and keep the Bitcoin cash, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a 50-50 chance of failure. You got a 50-50 failure rate of selling the wrong coin when you choose between the chains. That's the problem. That was the thing that I was petitioning to try to get people to understand, is not to pick a winning side, but to position themselves where they gained both as a result of buying their hex pre-fork. And then you could have had the opportunities to arbitrage for more coins. Whether or not you took advantage of that or not, that's something different. But that's what I was trying to get people to do, is make sure they value both and not try to pick a winning horse.
These incredible assets are on such a sale right now. Good rant, Johnny. Liquid hex on Pulse Chain, is it the same as P hex? No, they're
different.
Two different things that have the same origin.
The liquid hex on PulseX is actually a proxy token. It's a proxy token. It can be exchanged for Ethereum hex when you bridge it over. So what happens is, when you bridge from Ethereum to Pulse, your hex is then locked there. Okay? And they give you a proxy token, which is basically an IOU. If you are the holder for that IOU, when you go back across the bridge, you can exchange that IOU for that hex that it owes you. And it's basically, if you really want to think about a bridge, it's like a valet ticket. Your ticket is not your car, but your ticket gives you access to that car.
Yeah. Like Richard bought the hex diamond and no one can afford it. It's a good example.
Well, that's exactly it. People will buy things to have them. People are buying the tokens that Gary made to have them, not because they think that they're going to go up in value or care what they do or whatever. It's fun to watch. It's silly, but people will buy things just to have them. Richard liked to have a lot of Bitcoin just so that he could have it. And his competitive nature was, he just wanted to have more Bitcoin than everybody else so he could secretly in his head go, yeah, I got more Bitcoin than you. And he told people all the time, yeah, I've got more Bitcoin than every one of you added on screen. He would tell people that. They weren't listening to him because they didn't believe him. But the truth is, Richard knew it. And that was good enough for him. That was good enough for him to know that he had something that somebody else didn't, or more than somebody else could or ever could have. And right now, you've got an opportunity to get, millions of hex that would be impossible to get at all-time highs. Try to get a million hex now is expensive. It's like $9,000 on the Ethereum side. That's a lot of money. Not everybody's got $9,000, and if you don't have $9,000, you shouldn't do that. But when it was $500,000 for a million hex, that's a big significant difference between $9,000. You're not going to have this ability forever.
Yeah, Johnny Shop. We're running out of battery here, folks. So get your final questions in.
Final questions!
Jeopardy. Final Jeopardy, guys. Final Jeopardy. Besides, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some non-crypto stuff. We're going to hang out because we're like real people and we're like in real life, and we don't always have to stream and always have to do this. And, well, hey.
Neither are going to fail.
Nope.
Let's see.
If Hex was not going to fail when everybody and their brother was calling it a scam and everybody was roasting us and it was 1,000 to 1, you know, back in the day, guys, it was 1,000 trolls to every one of us. You know how Hexicans go in the chat and they're like, they dominate the chat, they get all the likes, they get all the engagement and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Back in the day, everybody was punching us in the face. They were calling us scammers. They were calling us crooks. They were telling us we were going to wreck people's lives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, yeah, well, it turned out okay for us, right? So that was the hard time. When everybody is telling you, when everybody is going, oh, it's over, that's where you got to be strong. It's not when everybody's celebrating and cheering and dancing in the streets. Opportunity comes when the most pain is. When you see people that are unsure, you see people that are uncertain. You're never going to get the same level of uncertainty that we had to face at the very beginning, where everybody, you know, every 5 minutes there was somebody talking shit about us. Every 5 minutes there was somebody running Richard down. Every 5 minutes there were people telling us that we were absolutely ridiculous. We were a cult. We drank the Kool-Aid, blah, 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 blah. We had that, you know, ridiculous. Right? It's amazing that any of us are here. And if we weren't staked, we probably wouldn't be here.
That's right.
But we are.
That's
so guess
right.
what?
Here we are.
Guess what? We're not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with us. Because we ain't going nowhere.
That's right. And John Bishop, so we're almost out of battery here, but you're asking the same question I was asking earlier, like, why has Richard not streamed lately? I know he doesn't work for us. Yeah, I think like he's letting the community test themselves, build themselves, you know, that sort of thing. So that's my take on it.
Satoshi doesn't stream, guys. Bitcoin did just fine.
Yeah.
Satoshi doesn't stream, guys. Bitcoin did just fine.
So fair enough. And thanks for all the questions, everybody. Thanks for being here. Yeah, let's see. What do we got here? We got some outro music, so you can see the thumbnail at the end on Twitter. Share this out. Hit the like and subscribe button, or get out, or we're going to end the stream anyway. And let's see. Stake wisely, my friends. And peace out.
Till next time, guys.